today or tonight, wherever it is that you're from around the world, I want to share something with you that has been one of the most prideful moments of my life. And that is when we released and launched a company that you're here to talk about now or hear about called iBÜÜMERANG. And I'm going to share the concept with you. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my vision. I'm going to share with you how we got started, what iBÜÜMERANG is all about. And I'm going to share with you a little glimpse into the future of how business will be done and how we have already taken charge of delivering how business will be done in the future. But we've already started creating that future and actually allowing people all over the world to participate in something that never existed before iBÜÜMERANG came about. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I come from I guess you'd say, a relatively medium-sized family in Tampa, Florida. This is where I was born. I was born in a family that didn't have a lot of resources. We were rich in love. We were just poor when it came to financial resources. And I didn't even know it until I went to college. And I would tell my mom all the time what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. And she'd always tell me, she says, baby, listen, if you want to be successful, make sure you go to school, get yourself a good education, and make sure that you study hard enough so you can get a good job. And so obviously, mom's words won. I studied, I'd say relatively good enough. Put it this way, I sat next to a lot of very, very smart people, and my grades reflected my intelligence to be a little bit better than they really were. But I was also a great athlete. And what I did in terms of athletics, I got a football scholarship, went to Texas Southern University, and I started my career. Quickly, I got an internship in engineering because I started to study engineering. And what I realized, and from an engineering standpoint, was that it didn't lead to what I thought a life of accomplishing my dreams and goals were going to be. You know, when you grow up poor, you start to think that any profession is going to make sure that you are that you're going to realize all of your dreams and all of your goals. And it didn't. I started to realize that when I saw these engineers, that really wasn't the case. And so I said, you know, I want to do something a little bit different. And I started focusing on business. Had no idea how I was going to operate a business. I had no idea how business even ran. I just knew that I didn't want to work as an engineer because I had real big dreams and real big goals. As a kid, I used to watch a show called The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And so when it came to living a lifestyle, it's what I wanted. I never felt guilty about it. I would see the people living lifestyle of rich and famous. Most of them were movie stars, actors, entertainers, musicians, or just very, very high net worth people. And I didn't know what was required. I just saw it and I says, wow, that looks like a lot of fun. And so who wouldn't want to have a lot of fun? Who would love to just be able to have recess all year long, but make money while you're at recess? And if you don't know what recess was, it was that time in school where they gave you a break and you went out and you can do whatever you wanted, play with whoever you wanted, play whatever game you wanted. And that's what I wanted. And I remember coming up through high school and coming up through college that once you got enough grades and you studied enough classes, they did this. They looked at you, they took your forehead and they stamped this little stamp on your forehead and it called you an adult. And what did that do? When I became what I call that adult by the world standards, it shrunk my dream. It made me start thinking what I call realistically. It put me in this box and it told me that here's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to work 40 hours to 60 hours a week. I'm supposed to study real hard and work my way up to a promotion. I'm supposed to save a percentage of this income, only take a vacation for 2 weeks out of the year. I'm supposed to get hungry at 12 o'clock. I'm supposed to get unhungry at 1 o'clock. And I only have 2 weeks a year that I could be sick. So I've got to go ahead and program my life that this is how the remainder of my life is going to be. Get sick 2 years, 2 weeks out of the year, take a vacation once, and that was it. And so because I saw everybody else doing it, I raised my hand and says, I want to be that adult, because I thought that's what was important. And that's where I thought everything lied around being that adult. What I've realized lately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 47 years old right now. I was able to find a unique place in the market, whereas I was able to connect people with things that they wanted from a technology standpoint, and I was able to earn enough money, whereas I didn't need that job anymore. And when I was 26 years of age, I was able to retire from corporate America, and I realized that I was headed down a path that was not going to lead to happiness. I was headed down a path based off of what the world calls success. And it wasn't necessarily just the money that made me realize it. It was the freedoms that I had. And what I want to talk to you about today, ladies and gentlemen, is freedom. Now, what do I call freedom? I simply call freedom choices. Just choices. That's it. And it doesn't mean that you've got to have all the money in the world. It doesn't mean that you've got to spend and have the most expensive things. But what if you could have a life and just have choices? The choice to go to work if you want to, the choice to not go to work if you don't want, the choice to put your kids through whatever schools that they wanted to go, or if they didn't want to go to school and wanted to pursue a talent that they have. Wouldn't you love to say, hey, I've got the finances to be able to nurture that talent instead of forcing my kids to have that same stamp on their head at the age of 21, 22 years old. When you graduate from college, you're called an adult, and what you're looking for is a mortgage, 2.3 kids, a house with a white picket fence, and again, two weeks worth of vacation. And when I look back on it right now and I think about it, I don't even understand how and why someone could say 2 weeks only worth of fulfilling my life. Do you know that the average person works for 40 years? 40 years. And 2 weeks, that means that 40 times 2 weeks, that's 80 weeks that you'll actually have enjoyment away from work throughout your lifetime. But what happened is nobody told me that's how it was going to be in the very beginning. They only told me, hey, this is the way for you to have a better life. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm here to do? I'm here to give you some choices. Now, here's what you're going to notice. I'm going to share with you a couple of things that some of them you probably have heard of, some of them you probably have not heard of before. But what I really want you to focus on is the message within the opportunity itself. You know, our world has actually shifted. I don't want to say change so much. It's shifted. You know, today we have what's going on right now around the world, this global pandemic that has caused many people to panic. It's caused many people to be unemployed. Their way of living is different, not only from an economic standpoint, but from a social standpoint. The way that they do things, the way that they interact with their kids, the way that we interact with our families, the way that we even are entertained has been shifted for a short period of time. And what I want to share with you today is a way that life, you can still have life, you can have it abundantly, and you can have it on your own terms. And so in the next few moments, what you're going to see is an opportunity, and you're going to see a selection of choices. And one of those choices could be choosing to do nothing different. I'm not the one to say that just because I'm presenting this and just because it has worked for me and my family, that you have to be a part of it. But what I can tell you is that over the years, I've had a chance to work with people all over the world. And I've seen the benefit of people exercising those choices. I've seen the benefit of it. And so today, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to show you how life can continue. I'm going to show you how you can have some fun, and you can actually do it in reverse order. If you want to split it half and half, instead of having 2 weeks of vacation, have 26 weeks of vacation, 26 weeks of work. Or if you do it like I do, I haven't worked in I don't know how long. What do I mean by that? Work, in my opinion, is when you're doing something and you'd rather be doing something else. Right now, I'm able to help and develop other people who want to live life on their own terms. And so in the next 30, 40 minutes or so, or however long it takes, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to show you how to start from right where you are. I'm going to show you how to start with no experience whatsoever. All you need is a desire. There will be no masks that I'll have on this presentation. There will be no social distance protocols that we're going to enjoy. You won't have to do one single thing. You'll notice that there's people all around the world that will be listening in, and many of those people have been invited by someone who won't speak one word. But what's going to happen in less than 1 hour is that their business will be expanded. Just like that. That means that commerce, business still goes on every single day. So let's not buy into the hype, but let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to see if I can share my screen. And if I can share my screen, I think I have it here. And we're going to go through a presentation today. And I'm hoping that I'm able to do the technology the way that I really need to. So let's talk about it. As I mentioned to you earlier, the name of the company is iBÜÜMERANG. Well, one would say, well, why would you name the company iBÜÜMERANG? Let's talk about that for a moment. One of the biggest things that my wife and I have set up is wanting to have a life whereas we're known for what we're giving back, not necessarily what we receive. Years ago, I wanted to make sure I had an impact in people's life every single day. And I did something, and I started to notice the more that I was giving of myself, the happier I had become. I was completely financially independent. I wasn't looking or needing to earn more money. We were completely fine financially, but I was a little empty and some of my victories were hollow. And it almost led to a depression. And I start doing small acts of kindness every single day. And after a certain period of time, I start to notice it made me happy. It wasn't because I was getting something back in return because I didn't experience that, or I wasn't even looking for it, but it made me happy. And I started to dedicate my life, and I still live that way today. Sometimes it's just as simple as a smile to a person. It may be as simple as a compliment. It may be as simple as paying for the people who are in line for the toll behind me, tipping a waiter or a waitress extraordinarily high, taking care of someone who's handling my bags, or a service person, and just doing something whereas I don't even see what their reaction is. And so I noticed that, and I said, when I build a company, I'm going to build a company based on that same principle. And from day one, what our company has done is we've made every promise. Actually, we've not kept the financial promises that we've made. We've over-delivered on them. We've told our field how much we're going to pay, and what we've done is we've always paid more, and it's the iBÜÜMERANG principle. And so I'll talk to you today about a little bit of income. I don't want to get overly aggressive with the money. I want you to see the concept, because if you can understand the principle of earning $1, then you can multiply that act and you can find a way to make $100. And if you understand what $100 is in terms of what it took to make, you can make 1,000, and then you can multiply that and do even more. And so pay close attention and just roll with me here. And then what I want you to do is fill in your own blanks. Some people join our company and they're just looking for an extra $250 per month. Some people want 500 or 1,000. Some people want it to be financially independent. And we've got several who's already done it. I think we've got a couple people who've already earned over $1 million. And our company is just 17 months in existence, and we had our official launch in September of last year. So we're not even officially 1 year old. Now, that income is not designed to entice you or to make you believe that, hey, I joined, I'll make $1 million. It's just to give you a perspective that is unlimited. The income that you'll earn will be in direct proportion to the work that you actually put in. I want you to know that. There is no getting something here for nothing. There is work required, but remember, let's talk about those rewards. I want you, as you go through this presentation, I want you thinking that if money was no object, I want you to think right now of 5 things that you would like to accomplish before your time on this earth is over. Just 5, not 100, not 200, just 5. And I want you to think about those things, but don't think about how much they cost. I want you to have a limitless mentality at this moment. I want you to think, if money was no object, where would I go? Who would I go with? What would I buy? Who would I help? What causes would I maybe donate to? Or what experiences would I have and how would I do it? I don't want to give you the answers because those are your dreams. I just have the vehicle that I'm going to share with you of how you can actually make it happen. All right, buckle your seatbelts, let's roll. So it's time for you to take control, time for you to earn more money. It's time for you to start your own home-based business. There's no better time to do it than right now. Our mission to provide an opportunity, okay, to succeed without selling by offering a 5-star lifestyle at 3-star prices. I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Now, what my whole mission is, and why one of the reasons that we started iBÜÜMERANG was to basically take you from an outdated business model in the direct sales industry and take you into a modern era. As I mentioned to you right now today, that this presentation is going to, it's from the comfort of my home. I've got on shorts. I don't have on shoes right now. I haven't even lotioned my legs or anything. I've just, put my lip balm on and put on a nice t-shirt, and I got swim trunks on right now. And we're talking to people all over the world. And so my example is proof positive of how business can work. And I'm looking at all of our channels that we have, and we right now have over 3,000 connected channels. And in those connections, some of them have 20, 15, 30 people who are watching at one time. And so we could have as many as 10,000 people listening. It could be even more people than that. But it's just to share with you how explosive that your opportunity to build a business can be with technology. And we are leading the forefront with that. Now, let's get back over here. So from a leadership standpoint, one of the reasons I tell people of why they should listen to me is not necessarily because of all of my successes, but because of the successive collective successes of our team members. There's so many other ones that we don't even have right here listed in terms of our executive team, because our company is growing. We're adding new people at least every quarter. We're adding someone new to our executive team, to our leadership and directors team that we have. But one of the biggest reasons as well is because of the gap of experience between my failures and my successes. In 1990, when I started this type of business, I fell flat on my face. And my first 7 years, I never made more than $500 in any one month. And I was dedicated. But I learned, and I really start to understand why people such as myself were having a hard time in businesses like direct sales. So in 1997, I started to develop a formula and a system to achieve what I call rapid success. What I realized about rapid success was that I developed a formula for people who had a skill set. And if they utilize that skill set, they could have rapid success. And even though I was able to go on and help and develop a lot of people who earn millions of dollars, I look back and I said, there were some people that I left behind. And that was those people who didn't have those skill sets that even though they wanted to use my formula, they couldn't. And so when I started iBÜÜMERANG, what I wanted to do is make sure that everybody was encompassed. And so this company here is not designed for people who are like me. It's designed for people who had a hard time, people who had never succeeded in businesses like this. And we have so much evidence of people all around the world who are being able to have that success now. Our team created a concept to make the future of business easier. And I'm going to talk to you about it. It's called a PRIB. Okay. A PRIB is basically a perpetual residual income builder. Now, this is the main important ingredient that I want to talk to you about today, the PRIB. You've never heard of it probably before because we actually trademarked that term. We created that concept because I looked at network marketing and I saw that it's been the exact same business for the last 50 years. When I look at technology, it changes about now every 6 months to a year. When I look at real estate and how it's done, it's changed drastically. When I looked at even the stock market and how people earn money when the stock market and systems, it changes rapidly. And here's this great industry that's designed for people like you and me that hadn't changed a lick in 50 plus years. Imagine building a home and going in, and the home has the exact same carpet 50 years ago, and all the people who've walked in and out, and what's embedded in that carpet. Wouldn't it be time for a facelift? Well, I looked around and I didn't see that facelift, but because of my early beginnings of failure and because of my successes at such a high level that no other person had achieved in this industry, I was able to see everything in between. And I said, a PRIB is what's needed. It's almost the opposite of what you experience in your typical network marketing company. We'll talk a little bit more about the PRIB a little bit later, but I want to share with you what it assists and what that PRIB really does. If you can imagine music before the iPhone or before the iPod, if you can imagine having all your records and you've got to go and sort through your records and your tapes or whatever it is, and you've got to put them over here and you couldn't play them, create a playlist, you'd have to take your albums, take them off. And some of the people right now have no idea what I'm talking about when I say album, because we have a lot of young people on this call. So my thought process was, if Apple can create an iPod, why couldn't I create something for network marketing? See, today in your iPod or your iPad, your phone, when they created this iPhone, they created a center of all business that will take place for your life. It started off with 1,000 phones in your pocket, 1,000 songs in your pocket. And then it went just from 1,000 songs to limitless amount of songs. And then it went from songs and it went to a telephone, your simple mode of communication. The way that you now watch television, the way that you get your news, the way that you watch music videos, the way that you communicate all over the world, everything is done for you right through this simple thing here called a mobile phone. Even listening to this presentation, many of you are on your phone. And so I thought about an analogy. How could I create something for people in network marketing that would have a similar effect? And it's called the PRIB. And I'll explain to you so you'll understand how powerful the PRIB is. The PRIB basically is designed to create a revenue stream for anyone who uses that PRIB and anyone who fills that PRIB with customers. See, in traditional businesses, you've got to do all of the work. When I owned a furniture store, I had to do the marketing, the advertising, I had to do the sales, I had to do the deliveries, I had to do everything until my company got big enough that I could hire other people to do it. In direct sales, which I'm an expert in, and I've been doing it for 30 plus years, I had to do the follow-ups. I had to do all the selling, I had to do the upselling, the cross-selling. I had to do all of the training, the orientations, getting people started. I even had to fill out the applications for them and actually key it into the system the majority of the times. And in the franchise business, you know what? A franchise does the majority of the things for you, but also there's exorbitant costs that come with franchises, and there's very small margins. Well, a PRIB does it all for you. Now, this doesn't mean that you have no responsibility. This doesn't mean that you join and the PRIB does everything and you walk away and don't do anything. No, that's not what we're talking about. Your involvement is still very important. But let's talk about what's going to happen and what happens with this PRIB and what we've already proven with our PRIB. What we've already proven with our PRIB is that our ambassadors are not forced to go out and do all the selling. As a matter of fact, what we did is we introduced the first concept to our PRIB that was travel. Let me tell you why. Number one, we know that people all over the world want to travel. And regardless of what you see online now and what you read on the news, I can tell you people are now traveling. The numbers are actually picking up like crazy. You say, well, Holton, how do you know? Well, I happen to own a nice travel business, okay? And so I can tell you this, in July, the first 8 days of July, we had more customers book travel on our site through our Prib than we had the entire month of April. And the numbers now are escalating. Why? Because people are realizing that they need human interaction. They need to have a vacation. And what I've experienced is that now it's more safe than ever before in my experiences to travel and go to places than ever before. I just recently left with 32 of our top earners and corporate executives, and we went over to Cabo San Lucas at the La Grande Resort. We were there last weekend, and we just impromptu said it. It was 10 days out, said, hey guys, listen, let's get out of here, let's go travel. We got there, we felt so safe. We had never seen such cleanliness taking place. And so I believe everything happens for a reason. We felt more safe than ever before. And what we're finding is people who were there were having the time of their lives. And people are realizing, hey, let me continue living my life. So here's what we did, just to prove to you our Prib works. In our first test run of about 11 months of working, first 14 months of running with our travel platform, we've been able to book now over 60,000 trips, 60,000 trips that customers have booked through our Prib, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But here's the beauty of it. Do you know I can't find one of our ambassadors who went and called up one of their customers and said, hey, listen, we have vacations at a discount. You want to go ahead and try to book this trip? We don't sell travel at all. Why? You don't have to sell it. People are going to travel whether you want them to or not. What we've done is we have provided a way for them to access travel at a huge discount. If you notice, it says 500,000 customers in 12 months. We're now over 800,000 customers. And to prove to you our business works, with everything that you see here, just between the travel and this Prib alone, we are approaching about $100 million in sales. We're in that direction right now of $100 million in sales just with these two verticals. Now, let's talk about why travel and how we do it. First, it's an $8 trillion industry, very huge. It's big all over the world. Travel is going nowhere. It always rebounds. It's the one to rebound first. If you want to have any indicator, just go take a look at the stock tickers of the travel companies. Go look at where they were prior to pandemic. Go look at where they were when everybody was scared. And then go look at where they bounce back to now. They're not bouncing back to those levels because people aren't traveling. It's because the belief in the travel industry will always be there, no matter what. Two industries or two companies, Booking Holdings, Expedia Group, are the two dominant forces that run everything in the travel industry. What they've done is actually put together marketing strategies, and they've allowed those marketing strategies to be represented through websites or booking engines like booking.com, rentalcars.com, Agoda, OpenTable. They're all owned by the same two companies. But what they've done is that they have pricing. And anytime you'll see that they say the lowest pricing, it represents the lowest online retail price available, not the lowest price to customers. But because of our buying power and who we are and our reach that we have as well, we actually have access to what we call backdoor, behind the curtain pricing. All legal, all legitimate. It's just that we're able to access it, and we can only allow members to use it. It's the same with Expedia. It's the same with Booking Holdings. It's just that their marketing strategy is a little different. They make the money on the markup of that. And we said, we have a better method. Why don't we give customers free access? That will introduce them to our Prib. Let's give them free access. No strings attached. No blackout dates, no minimums, no maximum whatsoever. And what we'll do is we'll share with them discounts that they couldn't get anywhere else in the world except the iGo platform. And guess what? It's worked. And it continues to work. And every day it grows. So to give you some experiences here, New York hotel, 4.5-star hotel. On Expedia, $339 a night. On iGo, it's $178, $161 per night savings. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that customer here would ever go back to booking on Expedia with prices like that on iGo? Do you think they'd be loyal and go to iGo first? Of course they would. Look at this one here in Paris, France, $440 a night with Travelocity on our site, $130 a night. $310 per night. Now, think about it. You go into Paris, how many people go to Paris for one night? That's probably a week stay, maybe. A week times $310, that's over $2,000 savings is what we're talking about. Do you think this person will always go to iGo to look for their travel? Of course they would. All right. Now, you look at the rental cars, top rental car companies in New York City, $392, ours is $221, $171 savings. And at the bottom, I won't go through all of them. I'll just give you one that's an example of mine. It's a personal one. It's one that I know of. Why? It's my vacation. I actually went to Mexico and stayed in a hotel, and it was incredible. It was, I think 5 days, 4 nights or something like that. And, but it was all inclusive. The total rate, the total savings there was $1,589 booking on iGo. The total cost of my reservation was $1,348. I think I saved like 68% or 60 something percent savings. I can tell you this, I have never, ever, ever booked another trip in travel unless it's on my iGo platform. And by the way, I was a customer of iGo, of this technology before I actually started the company. And so I was so excited about my savings as a customer. I knew that if I found a way to give this away to customers for free, if I could do it, it would be a home run. And that's actually why and how iBÜÜMERANG actually started, because of my own personal experience. Now, one of the other things that we access as well is from a 5-star lifestyle and 3-star prices, many other core services. You can read about those on our website if you want, but hotels and rental cars, cruises, different homes, you know, such as like the Airbnb or the higher end homes, week vacations. Our weeks are absolutely incredible. Let me give you an example of a week that we would have. We have certain inventory and all over the world that we have, and we have prices that you would not, if I showed you the week price, you'd say, okay, that's the daily rate. You go into the website and you look at these amazing all-inclusive places, 5-star resorts. I've seen some that have been as cheap as like $135. That's your food, your hotel room, your tips, your drinks, all of it, your everything, $135 for the week, not the night, for the week. But you only find that at iGo, and we give access to that. And this is why so many people always choose iGo. Once they get a taste of it, they never, ever, ever go back. Now, do you boomerang? Let's talk about that, okay? Do you boomerang? The answer is what? I want you to put something in the chat. Yes, I boomerang. Let's talk about what that is. Boomerang is a simple way of giving goodwill, of giving people exposure to something of benefit, and you have no immediate expectation to profit. You're only doing good. Remember, that's why I started the company. Going out there doing something good, and when people are happy, I believe the universe, if you do it with good intentions, the universe will actually reciprocate. Now, I know right now this is not a charity move for you, and some of you are probably saying, HB, I get the do the stuff for goodwill, but I need to make money. Well, here's the secret. If you want to know my secret, my wealth has come from being able to go out and give goodwill. Every time I started something that was for my own personal wealth accumulation, I got in the way. But when I knew that if I did something good, and if I believed that that principle worked, that it comes back to me, it's when I became luckier, that some people say. It's when opportunities came my way. It's when I became happier. It's when businesses, intersected for me and things started to happen. And that's why I created a company, because if I can experience that same amount of success, I believe you can too. Real simple. Here's how we accumulate customers. We simply generate a smart code online. It's called a boomerang. You'll hear us use that term. We send it to a customer. We give them access to the iGo platform for free. They become a member. Remember, these prices can only be realized at membership prices. So we said, let's share our membership with the world for free. I'm going to share with you how money is made in a moment. We give it to them for free. There's no pressure on them to go out and travel. There's no pressure on them to make a booking. We give them the access. And all they do is exchange their data, their email address, their phone number, and now they actually have access to a membership. And they can use it anytime they want with zero limitations. Now, what happens is when that person activates that code, it becomes your customer for life. They have now entered that PRIB, Perpetual Residual Income Builder. Now, what happens with that PRIB? The PRIB then goes to work for you. You now never have to lift a finger when the PRIB is at work. The PRIB sends advertisements about certain vacations, certain places that are pretty cool spots that we have that have higher percentages of discounts. We send that advertisement to those customers every single week or every other week. When we see something that's pretty cool, we send it out. We don't bombard. We never sell their information. And they watch all of this information and they're like, wow, this is why we've got over 60,000 bookings. I don't know of another company in direct sales that have as many customer bookings on their travel platform as we have, and we're not even 1 year old officially. So when they exercise it, you get commissions. Here's how it works. This is what happens. In this example here, let's say you sent out a boomerang, all right? And that's you there. You send a boomerang to your customer. In this example, your customer saves $212. The way I've designed it is this, is that when your customer saves $1, I pay you 50 cents. In this example, your customer saved $212. That means you'll receive a travel savings bonus of $106. 50% of the savings is actually paid to you. You're wondering, HB, how does this happen? Is this real? Where's the money come from? Well, if the customer saved $212, do you know that there was really $424 of savings that was available? But they don't know and they don't care. They simply got a price that they couldn't find anywhere, but the other money is what allows us to go out and pay you 50% of it and take the other 35% and pay it to other ambassadors who even assisted and developed and trained you, leaving the company with 15%. Yes, go tell someone else in network marketing that you've got a company pays 85% of the commissions out. They look at you and say, you're crazy, it doesn't exist. Here's the example here. This vacation package in Cancun is a 5-star hotel. If you were an ambassador, you would save the full 40%. If you were a customer, you'd save 20%. So just look at your ambassador savings there. $424 is if you were an ambassador. That means a full member, and I'm gonna share with you how to become an ambassador. If you were a free customer, you would have saved $212. It's still great savings. You would have beat all the other companies' prices anyway, and you would have been happy. But that's how our business model works. Okay? Now, customer acquisition model, this is just to give you an example. Let's just say that your average customer will save about $600 for the year. Now, some save that on per trip. My biggest savings has been $4,500 in Los Cabos. I forgot the name of the resort that I was in, but incredible resort for my birthday last year on the golf trip. But let's say they save $600. Is everybody gonna save $600? No. Is everybody gonna travel? No, we don't know when they're gonna travel. So we look at it over an annual period. Let's say $600. That means that if you got 10 customers at $6,000 in savings, that your 10 customers save, we pay you a bonus of $3,000. When they travel, they book it. When they're finished, about a month to 2 months later, the hotel pays us, we pay you the money. And now you've got a cycle of receiving commissions based off of free boomerangs that you gave. You don't even know some of the customers in these examples. We have a situation where we have what's called group boomerangs. You can know a bowling league or golf league. You can know a traveling organization or a group that want to take cruises or whatever. Send them a group boomerang to one group, and you can have as many people as you have boomerangs to take a free membership, and all of them become your customer, but you only knew one person. And anytime they travel, those commissions come to you. It's pretty cool. Now, can you build a lifetime of income around it? Yes, later or once you build your cycle. But what we wanted to do was make the PRIB prove that it works first, to make sure that you didn't have to do the work, but the income comes in. And I can tell you right now, we have paid over $100,000 commissions, separate commissions that have been paid because of travel bookings and override commissions that have taken place. So now, what we've done with our PRIB is proven that we can actually put something through there that you don't have to focus on, you don't have to do the sales. The second thing we wanted to do was make sure that we can put something in that happens weekly or daily. Travel is yearly, 1 to 2 trips a year. So I thought of what's one of the fastest growing segments in travel today? Or when I say travel, I'm talking about local or mobility solutions. It is the drive share industry. It's the drive share industry. If you take a look at even what's happened throughout this pandemic, it has absolutely boomed in terms of companies like DoorDash and Postmates and all of these companies that are doing food deliveries, parcel deliveries, package, peer-to-peer deliveries, and now even rideshare is starting to rise again as people have become a little bit more comfortable that they can actually protect themselves. So we launched a concept, our own rideshare company, or as we call it, drive share. To tell you a little bit about how it works, I don't want to get so detailed into it, but how would you like to participate? Many of you watched leading companies become the fastest growing companies in the world and never owned one vehicle. You've watched tech companies have more stays than all of the hotel chains combined, such as an Airbnb, but you didn't participate. I am all about participating and showing other people how to do it as well. You don't have to be a tech genius. I'm not either. What I am good at is taking people and connecting them with opportunity, and we hire the best people with technologies to put all of this stuff together. Now, introducing Vibe. It's a drive share service. Currently, we're in selective markets like Texas and Florida, but we're about to start expanding in many other cities and other countries as well. Just to give you a little teaser of what's happening, that's universally one of the best concepts out there. There's 3 ways that we show people to earn. With that simple boomerang that you send out, that customer becomes yours. And guess who's going to go out and market to that customer? The PRIB is going to market to that customer and let them know of the services. So if they want to ride, if they need deliveries or whatever it is, we're about to start launching our mobile solutions and delivery service. That's coming up very shortly. And they can start doing that, and every time they do it, you earn a commission. 3 ways to earn: when you drive, when others drive, and when your customers actually ride. Now, we have a concept in the rideshare component called active income. You can be a driver. Many of you, love driving and you've driven for rideshare companies before. Well, we'll pay you up to 75% of the time and the distance of any of the rides that you have. Now, remember this, as a driver, you can also get your own customers. And when your customers ride with even other drivers, you still earn income. Nobody's ever done that before. So just to give you a little model, imagine you're in the drive share, and what you did is you actually went out and you actually gave boomerangs to 10 people who wanted to drive. That's it, okay? Let's just say for the year, they actually run fares that total $50,000. $50,000 for the year. That's not a lot. You've got 10 drivers. That means that you've got a total of $500,000 per year in drives. We pay you a 3% override on all the drivers. You're not driving, you're just collecting, but you sent them the boomerang. $15,000 in passive income. That means that your car could have been sitting at home. You've never been on the road, but every time those drivers go out and drive, you earn money. Nobody's ever done anything like that. How many of you would love to participate in an industry where at least you have the ability to earn income like that? Even if you didn't, if you had the ability, I want you to put, yes, I would in the chat if this is something that you have an interest in. And let us know which city you're in, because in our expansion, we want to know where are we going next. And we have been putting a lot of resources, technology, and money into our expansion that you're going to see coming up like very, 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 very soon. Okay. Now, passive rider model. Let's just say it's you. And you go out and you actually send 10 boomerangs to customers, whereas they know that they can choose their vibe, choose their own environment on their ride. And let's say those 10 riders, they refer other riders. Let's say they refer 5 riders. That's 50 riders. And those 50 referred their 5. That's 250 riders, customers that you've got total right there. That's 250 plus 50 plus 10. That's really 310. 310 riders, you only referred 10. Think about how the leading rideshare companies expanded. You never saw advertisements of them advertising for people to take a ride, only drivers. It was the people, it was us. Say, hey, have you ever heard of this company? You can just get a ride. Hey, have you ever heard of this company? But they never paid you a commission. They gave you maybe a one-time little, $1 or $2 discount. But what we'll do is we'll pay you for life. 3%. Anytime they choose a vibe, wherever in the world we operate, for life, you get 3% of it. In this example here, 310 riders. Let's say they average $50 a month. That's $15,500. 3% of that, $465. That's $5,580 a year. How many of you have ever received anything close to that from referring any other rideshare company? From telling somebody about an Airbnb, from telling somebody about Netflix, from telling somebody else about Facebook or YouTube or any other social platform out there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to get on the other side of the money instead of us being the ones being used for our networks. See, it's your network that determines your net worth. I want to help you build your net worth through your network. Now, there's more ways to get paid in here. And the cool thing that I want to share with you is this here about those boomerangs and about the Prib. I'm back to the Prib now. Here's what we do in the Prib real quick. Let me take this off of share real quick because I want to just talk to you, okay? So here's what we do in the Prib. If you've noticed, we bring customers through the Prib with travel. It's free. It costs nothing. Still to this day right now, ladies and gentlemen, do you know we're having somewhere near between 4,000 to 8,000 customers every day who say, yes, I want to travel at a discount, even right now, every single day. So we know the truth about the travel industry. And still, we're not a travel company. We are a technology company. We've proven travel works through our Prib. Over 100,000+ commissionable units have actually been paid back. We've now proven rideshare works through our Prib. People who are getting daily rides. We've got customers and some of our riders like Mario right now, who's going down to areas that he doesn't want us to tell, because every single day he's building a new customer base, and he's known as the rideshare guy in this small city that he says, HB, I've never had the opportunity to take over an entire city and override an entire city in rideshare, because everybody in that city only knows him. He was the first. He's the only one now, and they keep referring riders and drivers, and he overrides it all. So ladies and gentlemen, we've proven that the rideshare component works. Daily, weekly income. And so what the Prib is really all about, you think it's only travel? You think it's only rideshare? Of course not. We have what's called Vision coming up. We've got some major announcements that we're going to make. We've got some technology that we're going to release with other products. Other technologies, we would consider them to be maybe like a wearable technology. Why? Because we are focused on how do we deliver what customers actually do want. Do you think if we've got 800,000 going close to 1 million customers, and we'll have maybe 1 million customers by the time our convention takes place, do you think with 1 million customers in our network, and soon we'll be at 5 million, soon we'll be at 10, soon we'll be at 20, 50 million customers in the Prib, do you think if they buy travel from us for free and at a discount, they get discount rides and rideshare, do you think that they would want to buy other stuff from this company that saves them money on the things that bring them the most joy, which is travel? See, ladies and gentlemen, the Prib is our foundation. It's what you're getting involved in, not just a travel company, not just a rideshare company. You're getting involved in the future of how business will be done. It's just that we decided to be the first ones to do it. And no matter where you live, anywhere around the world, there's people right now in areas that the internet don't even have fast connections, but they have customers right here in the United States. They've got customers in different parts of Asia. They've got customers all over Europe. They've got customers in areas that will take what we put into the Prib, and then we do the sales, and then they get the income. So my question for you is it time for you to be on the other side of money? And hopefully, yes. And let me finish up with this presentation here and show you the rest of it. So more ways to get paid. Now, if you think about the Prib in the way that I just explained it, knowing what else is coming, it doesn't even matter. All I can tell you is what's coming will sell. What's coming will sell. Other products, and we will continue putting that Prib together. If you remember Netflix when they first launched, do you remember sitting there like, I can't wait until they put movies in that I want? See, what Netflix had to do was to make sure that their technology was working. And they had these old movies in there, and which was pretty cool. And now you can't even keep up with all the new content that they deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the iBÜÜMERANG Prib. But here's my question. When would it have been the best time to buy Netflix stock? Back then when Netflix showed you the promise and they didn't have every single movie in there? Or now when Netflix is at its all-time high? Back then. This is why it takes a person with a little bit of vision to be able to see past today and into tomorrow. Those are the people who make the biggest differences, and also the people who make the biggest incomes. How do you get paid? More ways. Now, we have what's called a team builder model. Now, when everything is in this Prib here, as we have already established, there's ways that you actually get paid. We pay so many different bonuses and ways that we won't even mention here that we create every month, showing people that we want to reward our small people. When I say small, I'm talking about those with very little experience. We reward them for very small acts of progress. Direct sales bonuses that we pay up to 15% on all of the member packs. We've got what's called a dual team builder bonus, whereas you're able to now build a team on your left and a team on your right. You may have heard of it, called a binary, and all the way down through infinity. When sales of these particular membership packs are actually purchased, what happens is you're able to now benefit and earn commissions of up to 20% of one team's revenue. Okay, that's pretty cool, and that maxes out at a pretty high income level. Residual income is there as well from the Prib. That's the goal. Prib, P-R-I-B, perpetual residual income builder. It means that we do the work to continue to feed the Prib based off of how big you put your network and how many customers you put in the Prib will determine the success and what your residual income can be. We've got distributors now. One of our top people, Renee Brown, she just broke a record and actually just blew my mind. She's now got over 10,000 personal customers. She gets it. She knows that whatever we toss into the Prib, it doesn't matter if it was microwave ovens. Do you think she's got an opportunity of 10,000 people at some point in time needing a microwave oven? Of course, she'll get paid on it. So it doesn't matter what we put into the Prib, she gets the concept. You remember the small company called Amazon? They had a Prib. It was just Amazon, and they sold books. Books was their travel. And what they did is they distributed books around the world, and they were able to determine what people wanted based off the books they bought. They can tell a whole lot about the type of person you were. And then they did analytics on it. It says, well, you know what? Let's advertise this particular type product for these type of people and this product. And let's see if they wanted it. And today, ladies and gentlemen, Amazon is one of the biggest, if not the largest company, one of the largest companies in the world. What you're looking at right now is the baby Amazon.com disguised as a travel company. That's what we put together here. That's what Renee Brown understood. That's what many people like Edwin Haynes, our global master ambassador, understood, and many of our top earners that we have around the world. What you do is you actually send out the smart codes. They go through the iGo platform into the Prib. The Prib builds your residual income. Your team gets commission, and guess what else is going to happen? You actually get commissions as well. And what did it start from? You just simply giving out goodwill. That's it. The first person that I issued goodwill to was Edwin Haynes. Hey, let me tell you, the technology didn't even exist. I told him about the concept of the Prib, and he was the first distributor to enroll. And ladies and gentlemen, he's our global master ambassador, and he's been doing an absolutely phenomenal job building our business. How do you get started? Standby. It's $49. This is a way to really become what we call an involved customer, okay? So you basically get a standby package, which allows you to have customer pricing in your membership pack. But you're able to be involved. You can actually send boomerangs and get paid from the boomerangs that you have. It's $49 per month to maintain that membership level so that you can actually earn that income that's available through the different purchases that customers will be making in the Prib. But there's some benefits that you receive as well. Other ways to get started, one is called the coach class. If you look at them, I'm going to give them to you on an escalated level. In the coach class, you get the iGo booking engine, you get the full discount of pricing, hotels, flights, and rental cars. Stops right there, okay? You'll receive 10 boomerangs. You receive a smaller percentage of the travel savings bonuses from your customers at this level, okay? In your dual team, you receive 10%. So you receive up to 10% commissions in the dual team. Now, then you have business class. Business class is $500, 25 boomerangs. You'll receive 100% of the savings that is available to you. And here you'll receive up to 12% commissions in the dual team. Now, you'll also receive cruises on this one. First class is where everybody obviously would love to be. It's the best money for the value. You get iGo booking engine, all the hotels, flights, rental cars, cruises, homes, the weeks that I talked about, marketplace, lifestyle, timeshare access. You'll receive 50 boomerangs, all the commissions that are available, up to 20% in the dual team, access to the Prib, Vibrite. You're qualified for all of that with first class package. It's $1,000 that you pay one time, and it's each package that I'm talking about here is $99 per month. Now, let's put it in perspective. Why is it $99 per month? Because I've actually seen just the membership package alone sold for over $35,000 to people. So I said, no, most people don't have access to that. But what if we took the PRIB? And what if we took the access to discounts? And what if we took the qualifications for the opportunity? The ability to have unlimited customers, and when the PRIB brings a new product in, you don't have to pay another fee for a new business. It's all included in there. Charge $1,000 and basically $99 a month. If you think about it, how many months would you have to pay to equal up to $35,000 is what I've seen it for sell at some resorts. And those didn't even come with an opportunity. It didn't come with the PRIB. And so I want you to understand what it is that you actually get. You get access to that. And not only that, world-class training from not only people like myself, Edwin Haynes, some of our top leaders, our Black Diamond, Johnny Wembry, some of our top Blue Diamonds, Peter and Karen Hirsch, Jose and Melian Rivas, Cesar Munoz, Martha Ermias, whose this business was designed for, had never succeeded, and recently she joined our company and became a Blue Diamond, and she did it, I think, in less than 6 or 8 months. But that's what this company was designed for. And ladies and gentlemen, what's most important is getting started. See, everything that I've said to you, here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that what I said was true. And I know some of you have your doubts. You've seen presentations, you've seen people make promises, and I don't make any promises. I don't know what you're willing to do, and I don't know how much money you'll make. I do know why I built the company. I do know that it works. Let's just assume that what I'm saying is true. My question to you is, how many customers are you going to have in the PRIB? And how many ambassadors are you going to have in your group getting customers so that your family benefits from it? Or are you going to be like some of the other people? Let me wait and see when Netflix gets some of the most famous movies in, and then I'll invest. I'll get started when everybody already has 50 customers in the PRIB. Then it's hard for you to find someone that doesn't already have a membership for free. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share something with you. This company grew, and we're approaching $100 million in sales before you even knew about it. Netflix didn't do that their first year like we did. Amazon didn't do that initially like what we're doing. And so my question for you is, will you have another Amazon story saying, I was there. I remember when they presented this to me. I remember being on a call with thousands of people and them telling me about this PRIB. But I just didn't have the vision. Or will you be on the other side saying, I remember I was at home and the guy didn't have shoes on. He didn't put lotion on his feet or legs. He had swimming trunks on, and he spoke from his living room. And he said, he's going to show me an example of how this business works every day. And he spoke for an hour. And after that 1 hour, thousands of people who were listening, many of them got started that day. And he proved to me that it worked. And I joined that same day. And this is why I'm on some beach with my pineapple drink, with my little umbrella, and I'm enjoying freedom. And I don't work anymore because I send boomerangs daily, and it just returns back to me and my family. I'd love to interview you, and I'd love for that to be your story. I want you to get involved. I want you to accept my invitation. Get yourself involved now, not later, not tomorrow. Don't get a think about it kit. Get started today, right now. What do you have to lose? Get started today.